Hello everyone, this is Shaima again. So I'm doing a new video because a couple of you have asked me in my recent comments to do how did I prepare for AMC exams. So I'm doing a first video about AMC MCQ and I'm doing another video about AMC clinical. I just want to say that this is my own approach and my personal experience. As I say always in my videos, I'm not an expert. I'm just someone who is sharing my journey, what worked for me. I passed my both exams in my first attempt. I know a lot of people who followed the similar approach for AMC MCQ preparation and also passed in their first attempt. So I think it can be helpful for people who are seeking information on how to prepare for the exams. So let's start. So first of all, I really think it's important for these exams to do a theory review. I'm talking now about AMC MCQ. A theory review is very, very important because the way we do things in our home country is different from the Australian guidelines. So, and the AMC MCQ really tests your knowledge about AMC guidelines. So we really have to do a theory review. There are two ways to do these. So you can either join a course, which is what I did. So I joined Emergency Focus because initially I started doing the questions myself and I was really lost. I was not aware where to search information. So I joined the course, and that was the best decision in my life. I know many of the other IMGs will not recommend you joining a course. Many will say, oh, a course is just a scam, or a course is just does not, you can just do it without a course. Perfect. If you are able to do it with a course, just go for it. I was someone who could not do it with a course. I needed someone to give me a timetable to tell me, we will teach you this topic, and this topic this day. And that's what Emergency Focus did. So we had a timetable. They taught us all the topics and all the subjects. And then we had a lot of practice questions, and we had sessions to practice questions and practicing, common scenarios of the exam. So, and then the best part of it is not only passing the exam, but also I had a huge exposure to other IMGs, and I saw their journey through starting the AMC MCQ, passing the exam. One of my best friends as well. I met her there. We passed the exam together on the same day. We started applying for jobs together. We prepared for interview together, and we both are working now in Australia. And it's just so important and so valuable for me that I had someone for supporting me in all that process, someone with whom I could double check the job applications. And in fact, we both prepared together AMC2 and we both passed as well AMC2. So the course was not only about passing, it was about knowing Australia, knowing other people in the same process, making a community. It was really important as part of my preparation. You don't have to join Emergency Focus. There are other courses like first aid. I heard very good feedback about first aid. So I think it's a good course to have a look as well. I don't have personal experience with first aid, but I heard very good things about it. And then if you don't want to join a course for any reason, for financial reasons or because you prefer to study yourself, so the way to do it is to use Australian guidelines. So you just choose, so there are RCGP, there are RCH for pediatrics, and then RANSCO, which is for obstetric and gynecology. So you just have to, search any topic. So let's say pulmonary embolism and just write Australian guideline. And then they will give you the New South Wales guideline, but also the Royal College of General Practitioner. So this is a very important guideline in Australia. So RCGP, and you read from here, and that's how you learn the topic as well. So that's the options you have. And then while doing the theory, I'm someone who loves taking notes, and I really recommend taking notes. I think taking notes is a very, very important part of the learning process. It makes you fixate the information you are trying to learn, and then you will have a reference, a clean reference once you want to go back and check what you have learned. So I will show you the way I did my notes. So I did use OneNote for my notes. So this is how does it look? So you have sections where I added all the subjects. So this is very big study. I did a very extensive study, and that was really helpful for me when I started working in Australia, that I did this extensive study, to be honest. And then you have pages, and here you add the topics. So what I would do is if I have a topic like, I don't know, bacterial conjunctivitis. So this is from AMEDEX. So I will just take a screenshot of the topic and put it in here. And then cataract, I already have diagnosis. Just some things are more they've like more information, and something have less information. So when I'm talking about sudden loss of vision, so we have amaurosis fugax, we have central retinal artery occlusion and the management. So small notes for everything: giant cell arteritis, papilledema. And then whenever I will find a good table in Google or in any other resources, I will just put it in here. Similarly, I have as well, for example, neurology. So I have the lower limb nerves. So I have the radiculopathies and what are the actions of each nerve. And this is drawing that I did myself. And this is a picture from Google. And this is how I started collecting my all notes. And then when I was doing the questions after doing the notes, it was so easy to locate in here my topics and to keep adding things to my topics according to the questions. I really, really recommend to everyone doing their own notes. It's very time consuming, but it's really the way to learn. To be honest, I learned a lot by doing the notes. So yeah, choose your way of how you want to review that theory, either by yourself or joining a course, but make your own notes, please. It really makes you be very proactive in your study and learn a lot and retain the information much, much better. So OneNote is an amazing way to organize your notes, because then once you start practicing the questions, you can look back at what note you have made. And then we go to practicing the questions. So you got AMEDEX QBank and Mplux QBanks. They are the major QBanks in Australia. So I will post in my description the links for both of them, for AMEDEX and Mplux. So they are like these. So you have medicine, and then you have, dermatology, and you have here, I will post this in my description. So let me see if it opens. And here you have all the questions, and you can do them with the answers. So you don't have to buy the subscription. So that's something that I will do for you guys. Put the AMEDEX QBanks in the description, and also the Mplux QBank. And then another thing to do, which is really important, is the AMC Handbook. This is the official handbook of the AMC. So you have to do it. So if you are someone who's going to study the theory by themselves and not going to join a course, what I would recommend is starting with the QBanks and the handbook. So for example, let's say we are going to learn about a question like, I don't know, this one. So what is this question? So when you go to the answer, this question is a cellulitis. So you go to the guidelines and study about cellulitis and what would be your first thing to do in a cellulitis, right? And that's what you do. So you start with questions and you use the question as a reference of topics to study in the theory. I'm talking about those who are not going to use a course, because the course already gives you the theory. But if you are not going to use a course, you will have to do that effort yourself. Check every questions. What topic are they asking? Find the topic yourself on the guideline, make note of that topic. And that's how people did it. I'm not an expert in this because I did not do the exam without a course. I did not do the theory myself. I relied on a course that gave me the theory. So you see, if you can do it yourself, do it yourself. If you think you need some help and some guide and someone who would, show you what to study, what not to study, you can do a course. But even after doing the course, you need to practice the question. You need to do this by yourself. So you need to do the AMEDEX QBank. I didn't do the Mplux QBank. I thought that was too much. I didn't have much time to do it, so I just did AMEDEX. If you have time, do Mplux. It's a good one. And then AMC Handbook. I will put also the link for AMC Handbook, and that's a very important to do. It's the official handbook of AMC. It's still outdated, but still important to do. And now last month, which is very recent, they launched Emedici. So Emedici is an app that has AMC1 practice question. There are around 200 questions, I think, 240 or something like that, that you guys have to do. I haven't done it because that was not there last year in my exam, but it's new this year. So for sure you have to do this. So this is the your checklist for practicing questions. Then 1 month before your exam, you should all do recalls. Recalls are, so let's say I go to the exam, I do the exam, I remember some questions from the exam and I share them in Telegram groups, and that's what people do. And these are very, very, very important, very important. So the most important part of your preparation will be doing recalls. You cannot go to the exam without doing recalls. There are Telegram groups which share recalls, so you have to find them. That's why, again, it's good to have a community. It's good to be involved and proactive and ask in Telegram, ask in Facebook groups, ask other friends who are doing the the AMC exam and see where you can get the Telegram groups. I don't have, so I joined one last year, but that one is not available anymore. But I'm aware that there are new groups that they are doing recall. So find them and join them and start doing those questions. Those are very important questions because those are the trendy questions that come in the exam. And likely you will get similar topics in the exam and similar questions in the exam. So please never attempt your exam without recalls. Never attempt exam without recalls. And especially the recalls that are coming on your same week on the exam. Let's say I'm doing my exam in August, so there is a whole week of exams. Those questions that coming in this week, in that week are really important. So please, I wanna make sure that everyone does recalls before going to the exams. And as I said, they are in Telegram groups. I don't have a link now for any specific Telegram groups because I left them when I did my exam, but I'm sure if you join Facebook groups, if you join a course and you can see other IMGs doing the exam or preparing for the exam, you can ask other IMGs and they will help you reach there, or just find in Telegram IMC recalls group or something like that, and you will get it. So very important to be proactive to find it. So the checklists for AMC MCQ, theory review and take the notes. As I said, you can do it yourself. You can join a course, and then you have to practice. So ways to practice: AMEDEX Bank, Mplux Bank, AMC Handbook, Emedici, and then very important recalls. That's why it's in red. If anything is important here is the recalls, because those are the trendy questions and the topic you have to know very well. So unfortunately, doing the recalls alone is not enough, because you will be so lost in why we are choosing this answer, why we are not choosing that. Once you have done all this, it becomes so easy to understand what we are doing, and you will have a proper understanding of the Australian healthcare system and how to choose the answers. Doing recalls out of nothing, it becomes so confusing. So I really recommend doing the checklist in this order. Another thing is, take this exam as an opportunity to learn, not only to pass the exam. You are going to work in Australia. Take it as an opportunity to, if you are already studying and spending hours studying, make the most of it. And not only for the exam, but also for you as a doctor. So if you are doing neurology, go deep in neurology and study well about the nerves and study everything properly, because that will make you a very good physician and a very good doctor. And believe me, for me, joining a course was the best thing, or the best decision. It not only made me pass the exam, as I said, it made me have a good community. I have my best friend from the course. And also I got exposure to understanding how the system works, and a guidance for how the system in Australia works. So I think it was a very good investment. But that's my personal point of view, even though I know a lot of people who are against courses, and completely fine. Everyone has their own approach to things. I could never do this exam without a course, and that's my personal point of view. So I hope that was helpful. I will put the links for AMEDEX Bank, Mplux Bank, and Handbook in my description. And very soon I will be doing a video about AMC2 as well. And thank you so much. And if you would like any other type of guidance about any other topics, I'm more happy to do them. I know I still have to do about observerships and internship, which they're coming soon as well. Okay, thank you so much for being here. And if you like my videos, you can subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.